What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again today for a review of the Stanley Cup Final Game 3, coming a day late and much later than I expected. First problem, I worked 10 hours yesterday, and so I was not home. And then I went out for a lot longer than I expected, and so now I'm here. Having been up 22 hours straight yesterday, I slept as long as I could this morning before work in about 40 minutes. So this is the only time I'm going to have to do this before the drop of the puck of Game 4. But Game 3, Florida takes over Edmonton in Edmonton 4-3 and lead the Stanley Cup Final 3-0 as they are one win away from their first ever Stanley Cup, not just any Stanley Cup. For Edmonton, no Evander Kane in the lineup, cited due to a hip injury. Edmonton had been slotting players in and out of the lineup all series. Florida has not had to. They just keep winning. In the first, 1:02, Florida scores. It's a deflection and a redirect from Sam Reinhart with his ninth of the playoffs from Forsling and Barkov to make it 1-0. And then at 18:11, Edmonton scores the goal that I thought was a series momentum changer. Warren Foegele on a breakaway scores with his second of the playoffs from Henrique to make it 1-1, and the crowd erupts. I thought we might see Edmonton just take over right now. And they did. They took over much of the play. Until they didn't, because at 10:48, Florida scores. That's a goal from Vladimir Tarasenko with his fourth of the playoffs from Luosterainen and Lundell to make it 2-1. 6:03, Florida scores again. It's Sam Bennett with his seventh of the season from Tkachuk to make it 3-1. And then at 4:29, Florida scores their third goal of the period. It's Alexander Barkov on his own breakaway, his seventh of the playoffs from Rodriguez and Bennett to make it 4-1. And just like that, the series looks over. Then in the third, Edmonton begins to rally. 13:58, it's an Edmonton goal from Philip Broberg with his second of the playoffs from McDavid and Nurse to make it 4-2. Then at 5:17, on a deflection, Ryan McLeod scores for Edmonton with his second of the playoffs from Kulak and McDavid to make it 4-3. I don't think Draisaitl has a point in the series, and he still does not, going into Game 4. The last time there was a sweep in the Stanley Cup Final, it was 1998, where the Red Wings swept the Capitals. Before that, 97, the Red Wings swept the Flyers. 96, Colorado swept the Panthers themselves. And then 95, the Devils swept Detroit. Those were the last four times that a sweep happened, and they came in 4 consecutive years. Since then, teams have taken 3-0 series leads in the final, most notably the 2021 Lightning against Montreal, Montreal won Game 4. The 2012 Kings, in which LA won the first 3 games and the Devils won the next 2 before LA finished it up in 6. Those 2 are the most notable ones that I can think of that started with a 3-0 series lead. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any other ones right now. But this might have been the second game in the series that Edmonton had legit stolen from them by Sergei Bobrovsky, who will be your Conn Smythe winner. No doubt, Florida's going to win this cup. It's over. It's 3-0. And Sergei Bobrovsky's winning the Conn Smythe, solidifying his spot in the Hall of Fame. Penalties, Florida has 5, Edmonton has 3 throughout the game. Power plays, Florida goes 0 for 1, Edmonton goes 0 for 3. Shots were 35-23 Edmonton, hits were 37-33 Edmonton, faceoffs 32-29 Florida. Skinner saves 19 out of 23, Bobrovsky saves 32 out of 35. This tonight, it's going to be a huge night for both teams. Florida with a chance to take the cup, Edmonton with a chance to keep it in its box. The Mavericks last night in the NBA made it to 1 Game 4 against Boston to preserve the series. Will Edmonton be able to do the same here? That's going to be all I have for you guys in this one. I thank you all so much for watching this video, and I shall see you all in the next one. Have a good one.